Hello, Pisces, and welcome back to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for November 2019 for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. It's a general reading, so if it resonates, it resonates, and if it doesn't, then it just doesn't. Only a group of you will really resonate with this reading. All right, Pisces, so I hope you're well. We just entered Scorpio season. Say happy birthday to all the Scorpios out there, and later in November we're gonna enter Sagittarius season. So that's a very intense energy that we're all kind of going through. And Scorpio is a fellow water sign, and yeah, Pisces. Let's see how you're gonna roll with that. Gonna have a new moon in Scorpio, I think the day after tomorrow or tomorrow, and I think it's 28th of October still. And we're gonna have a full moon in Taurus on the on the 13th of November. So yeah, pay attention to your energies in those key moments. All right, Pisces, let's see what have we got for you. So we have the Queen of Cups as your current energy, the Six of Cups as your challenge. All right, I have a lot of cups. Makes sense. We have the Three of Cups as your focus. We have the Three of Wands as your advice, and Eight of Swords as a future energy. And bottom of the deck we have the Page of Swords as your theme, the underlying energy. This is pretty much the energy you're working with. There's this Page of Swords in this month. You're going through some type of revelations, and you're clearing your mind really of all this confusion that comes from lots of emotions and maybe loophole of thoughts. All right, I'm gonna clarify these cards first before we go deeper. The Tower of the Queen of Cups as your current energy. Four of Cups with the Six of Cups as your challenge. The Sun with Three of Cups as your focus. Page of Pentacles with Three of Wands as your advice. Knight of Pentacles with Eight of Swords as your future energy. And bottom of the deck we have Four of Wands, the Page of Swords. Okay, so let's get into this. Yeah, so pages talk about transformation, and being swords energy is transformation of the mind, but it's that type of transformation that happens naturally, like when you grow. A new idea, a new type of clarity is growing naturally within you as a result of your process and the work you've been putting in, just being with whatever is there. And Four of Wands talks a lot about achievement and achieving some type of stability, especially structure and stability for your, especially for your spiritual path or your spiritual realm. You've managed to establish a routine and you start seeing the results from it. You might start getting the recognition for the work that you've been putting, the inner work, I mean. My readings tend to be focused on the inner landscape and the inner work. There's not so much about stories, and they're not so much about other people, because I think everything that is happening within us has it flows, into outside, inside, outside, inside. There may be other people present, of course, in your story, but Yeah, the focus is in especially on the inner landscape, and how we're coming from there, how we're coming from our inner landscape and into the world. So yeah, Four of Wands is being able to see your own accomplishments and being able to see some type of results from your um whatever makes you tick in terms of passion, and having that type of flow really with yourself. Okay, let's get deeper into that. um I'm looking at these two people here that receive this type of recognition. It's like a celebration, you see, and it's in the safety. It's actually, there's a gate here, and these people are being seen and held by the whole community here, and I think that you're getting to, through this month, you're getting there. You're getting into this space of like figuring out your own accomplishments and figuring out kind of really where you at and what you can have a solid footing on, and it comes like, it's clarity. You It's something that you're just, is not mastery, but it's the beginning of clarity, and it's the beginning of getting in touch to like higher states of your mind, really. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so Queen of Cups with the Tower as current energy. The Queen of Cups archetype is somebody who's very, very in touch with, it's a feminine energy, which I would just say her emotions, but it's not necessarily uh, indicating man, women, or it can apply to men as well that hold the feminine energy. And the Queen of Cups, yeah, she's super connected. She's very reflective. She's very she's yeah, the mastery of the feminine aspect of the water in general is very feminine, but it's like very nurturing and very caring and very loving. And you Pisces, you hold that energy, right? Like you're, this is traditionally, like, it makes me think more of Cancer, but not necessarily. I mean, like, it can be any of the water signs. And you I feel like, yeah, this Queen of Cups right now represents you, and it seems that something is shaking you up at this yeah, maybe your ability to be present with this aspect, your ability to be the compassionate person, the loving mother, the or mothering, doesn't need to be to actual kids. Being able to connect with people from that place of like really unconditional love. It may also be that you're getting into this energy and that shakes your world up, because there's a lot to be a lot changes when we really communicate from this space of pure compassion and love and caring and so on. It is also like maybe that you Pisces are very empathic, and boundaries are a difficult thing for you. And I'm thinking about the tower here. We're having like a huge boundary, basically. It's like it's something that we build in order to protect ourselves from the world, and it's something that makes sense to us until it doesn't, because you have this like round crown base for square tower. It didn't fit there. So these are like um thoughts and ideas that you thought made sense and they don't make sense anymore, and then you have like divine intervention for you to catch up with that. And I see it as a freeing moment most of the time. Like these people, yeah, it seem like they're falling and like everything is horrible what's happening there, but at the same time they maybe they actually set themselves free from that tower that without their uh awareness they were prisoners in. And they're gonna land somewhere, and they're gonna start building on a more solid ground. And yeah, it makes me think about this again, of the solidity of your with the protection and solidity, being feeling safe, feeling protected, feeling held, having some results from your work already. And I think that's where you're getting at, but there's a process to get there. Hmm? And the tower, unfortunately, is part of that process. And I say unfortunately because we all kind of freak out in that energy. No matter, I mean, I love the tower in a sense, but I can't say I'm always comfortable with it. It's actually not comfortable having your whole foundation being shaken, and having like your whole mindset and life, I don't know, yeah, your ideas about how life, how this universe functions being completely shaken is not easy. And it has to do with relationship, it has to do with your emotion, it has to do with the way you're putting your boundaries, I believe. The Queen of Cups, she's an empath, right? And she takes in a lot, and much more than other people. And whenever you're like connecting with people, and I know that's a really beautiful thing, you do take a lot from them. I mean, not something like you, not like a vampire in that sense, even though you can become that in a very low vibration. It's more of like you can be a really good listener and an empathetic friend or whatever, a counselor of sorts. And people can come to you and share their problems, and but you're not completely free of them. You take that in, you know. And you need time to recharge, you need time to be by yourself, you need time to stay here on your own, in these very calm waters, just in a reflective mode, and release everything that you took in order to be able to hold space for people again. If we are getting like constant exposure, if you want to call it this way, to other people's energy, to other people's emotion, to other people's problems, to other people's joys, even the good stuff, like we can take in that too. And you become in a way addicted to it, you become very confused, you don't know what's yours, what's theirs. You need to be out of the energy field and the emotional field of other people in order to stay grounded and connected. And I think that's kind of where this tower hits right now. For you to be able to put those boundaries for yourself and actually to feel through those boundaries. Where am I being overprotective, maybe? Where am I, maybe I'm spending time in isolation? Or maybe the other way around, maybe I've been spending time with people constantly, and whenever I get a moment alone, I'm very confused and I'm getting terrified because it feels empty and it feels weird. But you're deeply encouraged to take some time for yourself right now. And while you take that time for yourself, you're deeply encouraged also to um look a little bit like at your story. What do you consider to be your story? What are the things in the past that you believe shaped you to be the person who you are right now? And yeah, of course, we don't necessarily identify with we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions, we are not our past and the things that happened to us or for us, but they did contribute. So I feel like it's a little bit difficult for you because this is your challenging position, and this is like the Four of Cups talks about being into a reflective meditative state and being with things that like the world kind of loses its flavor, and this person just stays in under the tree and checks out what's in these cups. And in a way sometimes it's okay, like, yeah, there's this cup floating here and this guy's not seeing it because he's looking at these other cups. Sometimes it's okay to not have to go out all the time, not have to always look for the opportunities, and like that fear of missing out a little bit. Think that it's challenging for you now to spend some time alone, and it's challenging for you now to look a little bit into your past, really, and what's the emotional baggage that you're carrying from there. It's a lot of emotions coming out here, and it makes a lot of sense. Like, it's Scorpio season, fellow water sign, and also like the deepest and the for many of us quite scary season, because we are challenged to look at the things that we don't want to look at. And Scorpio is all about taboo and transformation and death and sex and all these things that we don't really talk that much about, or we're not really bringing them into our awareness all that much because they're scary, or because they're bring out all kind of emotions like shame and uncomfortable feelings and so on. So maybe that's why you find it like so difficult to actually spend time alone right now, and to allow yourself to go along with this challenge of really feeling through what is it that you're going through right now, and understanding that whatever you're carrying from your past, a moment you start feeling it, you're starting releasing it. Feeling it doesn't necessarily mean feeding into it. It's like really feeling the emotions that comes with certain memories, or with certain um events from the past or present, or with fears even from the future, for the future. um yeah, the point is to simply feel through, allow that feeling to come and allow that feeling to go. And that allows you, by being present with it, by allowing it, by not feeding into it, by not feeding up the story. If you have something that not the nicest memories, and you, the moment you think about that, you feel certain things, for example, anger, or um shame, or um repulsion, or whatever. uh Instead of like justifying those thoughts in your mind and telling the story again and again and again, and then you're just perpetuating the same emotion and you're feeding into it, what you can do is to disengage the mind and just feel. If you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like but if you like, really, it's like stay into meditation if you can, if you practice, and or meditative states. It doesn't need to be the act of meditation, but that time where you have space for yourself, and where you can go deep within yourself and allow yourself to feel this stuff that needs to be felt. And it's something from your past. I mean, like, something that makes you feel melancholic, or something that you're scared to look at. And you're scared to look at because of this tower. I mean, I look at that. It's your emotional body right now is, it may feel like it's taking a hit, and that's why it's challenging to go there. And your focus is your friendships and your relationships and your celebration, celebrating connection, celebrating love. And when we can definitely do this much better if we had our processing time. Otherwise, like when we meet with our friends, we become like a broken record because we're trying so hard to get away from it, or we're like using even clever mind tricks to engage in different ways, just to feel engaged. Um, but with the sun there and with the three of cups as you focus, I think it is important to focus on your relationships from that place of like really joy and care and fun and that pure connection that comes from like when you were with children, when we really connect from a rather pure place and without knowing much, and we're playing around and we're having fun. And it's a very light energy, this one. And you have that within you. And when you're meditating or when you're spending time alone, you can also think about that you want to show up in your relationships from this space of love and celebration and joy. So yeah, having that as a focus, look at your relationships, look at the way you relate, look at the way you come out, and how you're keeping boundaries and how you're respecting your boundaries and how you're respecting other people's boundaries. And those kind of become, once like they're set and they're agreed upon, I think that it becomes pretty natural and actually takes off the load. Because when we don't have clear boundaries, we're always wondering like, am I doing something wrong? Is it something I said? Does this person mean what they say? Should I stay or should I go? And no, that type of things. With the three of cups and the sun, you don't have that. It's like all joy and fun. And I know this seems to be a little bit contradictory, but they don't necessarily need to be. That's the whole message, really. To be able to come out into the world and have these joyful relationships, we need to spend time alone as well, because we need to recharge, we need to release, we need to check in with ourselves, check in with where we're really at. Otherwise, we run on automatic pilot and then we become addicted to the relationships around us, to human presence, really, to connection. And you might take anything at that time. Doesn't matter, just to be there, somebody to be there. Your advice. The Page of Pentacles, just like the Page of Swords, talks about transformation, and it talks also about messages. And I think that in this case, you're being encouraged to really connect to your body and to connect with the earth, in the sense that it makes more sense to you. Connect to your body through can be also meditation, body scans, also spending time in nature, really getting into the physical, into the sensual. Smell the grass, feel the sun on your skin or the rain, feel the wind, get into the engage your sensorial apparatus here, and try to perceive the world through that. And that's very helpful, actually, especially when you work with such heavy loads of emotion here. It is important to connect to the body and locate these emotions in the body, because they always have actually, that's where they come up first. We perceive them in the mind, but they happen in the body. And that helps you disengage also the mind and also disengage the trance. Like the emotional trance can be quite intense. And I keep mentioning emotional addiction here, or addiction to certain type of like distracting yourself, or connecting with people, because as I said, like if you don't spend time alone, somehow uh we get confused, and that happens for everybody, but for you Pisces, like maybe even the most, because you tend to be, you are by archetype the most empathic and the most Pisces, it's all about water, it's all about flow, run by Neptune, which is mm, about the deep waters of the unknown and the consciousness and the unconscious, really, and mysticism. And but it can also be quite, if it's not grounded, then it just becomes a dream escape world. That's why this, like, getting into your senses is very important right now. Treat yourself to really good food. But good food does not necessarily mean comfort food, though that might help as well a little bit in the beginning, just to get you back to your senses. But what's important is like really spend some time cooking some good meals for yourself. Take walks in nature, hear the birds, really. Anything that helps you stay grounded. And this is also going to you're also advised to sort of like look at what you're putting out into the world in terms of intention. The ones is all about, it's higher energies, what we're putting out there into the world in terms of actions, in terms of intention, in terms of, it's very outwards energy. It also talks about our spiritual path and realm and passion and purpose. So with the Three of Wands, you've been you've been yeah, you had been intentional. You had been doing things that you hope to have some results from, that could be in any aspect of your life, whether it's work related or relationship related or anything right now. I think you're advised to simply look at it, that's it, re-examine. Because like as you grow a lot through this process of taking in your emotions, looking a little bit at your past dynamic, your relationship with your past, really, that's what this is all about with the Six of Cups. It's not about what exactly in the past or what happened to you, it's more about how you relate to that. And then how you relate to other people, and how being able to uh, take real joy from your friendships and relationships and soul family connection, um and not burden yourself with too much, keeping it lighter. You don't really need to mother everybody. um yes, it's you're understanding so much more of what is it that you're manifesting outside as well through this process. That's why I'm saying it's a process here of getting to that space. And see, you have the Three of Wands, and then you have the Four of Wands as your underlying energy. There's growth. You're getting the support. This person looks like he's calling on for his ship, and he's taking a journey. It's that journey that brings that type of maturity and that type of achievement, taking in the journey and creating the, choosing a path and start going on it. Creating your routine here, maybe your spiritual routine. I don't remember which one was where. Okay, and your future energy. Again, there's growth from the Page to the Knight of Pentacles, and seems that this probably is gonna happen like later in later November. Um, your mind may be starting to make so many stories about all this, and it's part of the mind's duty, in a sense, or what it believes its duty is, to catalog and trace down everything and um, figure out everything, understand why does it hurt. Okay, if it hurts, if it's scary, if it's painful, then there's something wrong. So it goes always in diagnosis. And negativity bias is called, like when we are fixating, and we're actually sort of like evolved in this way, right, through negativity bias, because we need to look out for danger, we need to look out for the things that are negative in order to protect ourselves. That's a survival skill. But when we get stuck in that, then all that we are surrounded with is negativity. And we can get into that loophole of feeling bad and thinking something's wrong and that I'm damaged and that there's something wrong with me, and then feeling bad about that, and so on and so on and so on. It's a negativity loop, really. And that's important to see. It's important to see in this process of coming back to clarity, you're getting there. I mean, like, this is the work, this is your cycle here in this month. But this, you're going to be confronted with your overactive mind at some point. And the King of Pentacles here tells you that it's okay, take it easy, take it slow down, really. And again, look at the long game here. Don't get too stuck in the emotions of the moment, and definitely don't believe everything your mind tells you now. Have a Get some time to um really connect to your more like long-term goals and things that you can wait for, what's worth waiting for, what's worth moving forward for. This one is like a very static energy. I mean, like, all nights are talking about expansion, and the Knight of Pentacles talks about like the long game. It's not going to be that type of expansion that happens immediately and super fast. It's on the physical realm, and it takes time. And I think by getting into this energy of the King of Pentacles, the slow game, the waiting game, the really looking for growing things at a natural pace, will help you disconnect the overactive mind when it gets there. And therefore, like, disconnect stories that are being told, and those stories generally tend kind of border. There's some, this tower might definitely make you feel like that at some point, where we feel like, so our world is crumbling and falling apart. We definitely feel like, okay, I might have done something wrong, or there's something that this will never go away. I'm forever damaged. But this is just your mind telling you these stories based on negativity bias. You're okay. You're going to be okay. And look, like, this is, and you'll get there. I mean, you'll get to that deep understanding. You're gonna start seeing the value in keeping your mind clear, and in your keeping observant, and you're gonna see the value also in your work and in your routine. Okay, so your Rumi Oracle card is commitment. Let's see what that says. It's a beautiful card. This orangey energy makes me think also about the sacral. This is the number 31. Makes me think about the sacral chakra, and which is again, the center of emotions and relationships. Okay, so The Rumi poem that comes along with this card says, "The awakened heart is like a lantern. Keep it sheltered from the turbulence of the winds of desire." Interesting. Okay, let's see. Where is that getting us? I'm just trying to see. So it talks a lot about desire and about having that flicker of desire in our hearts, and that desire doesn't need to be a hindrance. It can show us our passions and help us find our purpose. There's a way forward in your life path that needs to be seen by you now. It will be helpful for you to have that clarity and that certainty. You might have already caught a glimpse of it, but be doubting your vision or yourself. It actually is very possible, because the Page of Swords is still page, it's still growth going on in there. So this oracle comes as a reminder to you: don't doubt. What you are feeling deep within the passionate love of your heart light is true. It is real. You are being led into it by the progress of life itself. You must trust in this, even if it seems at times as though you are being led away from the vision. Life operates according to a genius that is beyond the linear approach. It is to be trusted rather than understood. There is enough challenge in the personal transformation being asked of you to simply take the steps. That is more than enough. You do not have to also create or control the terrain, nor determine the map or the journey. You simply need to take each step that presents itself to you in each moment. Don't let fear that your desire won't manifest because you sorry. Don't let fear that your desire won't manifest because you too try to bend life to your will. It is an unnecessary battle. I'm not sure I got that. And one that will not serve your soul here. Instead, just show up, be present, attend to what is before you in each moment, and trust yourself. Let the light of your heart take you into serenity that will bring you the balm of a solid core of comfort, even while the world shifts and changes according to the workings of divine will. As you move along your life journey, step by step, the divine will is moving you too, shining one, into fulfillment of your destiny. Life is not working at cross purposes with you, far from it. It is a co-conspirator with your heart. Come back to the stillness of love within and know your heart light to be what it is, reliable and true, showing you the way even now in peace and stillness. I hope that makes sense to you, Pisces. This concludes your reading. Do enjoy Scorpio season and be present with this. It's actually a beautiful process, and it takes you to this really nice grounded awareness and expansion. So enjoy, and I'll see you here soon. Oh yeah, and if you resonate with this, please like, share, and subscribe. See you here soon.